think the fascination with traders and trading is as much about the money as it is about the risk. Traders make a lot of money, but traders lose a lot of money, and these people are looking bankruptcy in the eye every day. It's raw capitalism.
You got to have sort of a big set of cojones, if you know what I mean, to survive in an environment where it's dog eat dog.
I've seen guys come in there that are sons and daughters of super wealthy families and blow through $50 million in 5 years. I've also seen guys come in there who are total street fighters and had great instincts and in 10, 15 years make $20 million.
Definitely, there's more guys get blown out than make it.
I want to make money. That's all I give a shit about. I just want to make enough money that I'll be happy.
Look, it ain't rocket science, but it isn't easy either. It's a market.
Let's money.
Like any other kind of market, we're buying and selling things. In this case, it's commodities. At the New York Board of Trade, we deal in sugar, cotton, frozen orange juice, cocoa, and coffee. In our pit, we trade coffee. But we're never going to touch the coffee or see it. We're just agents who help make the trade happen between the people who have the coffee and the people who want it. We do this by selling future contracts. A futures contract is an agreement to buy or sell a commodity for a set price sometime in the future.
I want money.
Let's say it's January, and you're a coffee farmer in Brazil, and you've already planted several tons of coffee. For some reason, you're worried that the price of coffee beans will go down before you harvest in May. So, you call your broker in our market in New York City to sell coffee futures to guarantee a price today for when you harvest later. Now, obviously, you're going to want your broker to get you the highest price he can. On the other side, let's say there's a coffee roaster in France. He needs a bunch of coffee beans to roast in his factory. But he's also worried the price is going to go up before May. So, he'll call another broker in our market to say he wants to buy coffee futures to lock in a good price today. Now, obviously, this guy wants the lowest price he can get. So your broker goes into the pit and tries to sell the coffee futures at the highest possible price. While on the other side of the ring, the French roaster's broker goes in the pit and tries to buy the coffee futures at the lowest possible price. When they agree on a price, the trade is done, and each broker makes a commission on the sale. But the real money for traders is in what we call speculation. We put up our own money and our smarts and our experience to make calculated decisions on whether the price is going to go up or down.
My trading stake is my own. It's my cash. And should anything crazy ever happen where I took a large hit, I'm the one that has to pay for it.
Every time you walk into a ring, you need to know where you're going to buy and where you're going to sell.
We buy and sell tons of coffee futures. We do this by selling future contracts to each other.
Coffee, of course, you can move the market a lot on a very small order, and it happens almost every day.
I buy 2 March at 1,500, and I want to sell 2 March at 1,550.
We'll buy it at 3 and sell it at 310, and buy it at 3 and sell it at 310.
We're talking dozens of transactions a day. So much that a little difference in price can mean a lot of dollars.
Now, speculators often get a bad name, but the futures market basically makes our cup of coffee the same price throughout the year, not really low right after the beans are harvested and really high just before the next harvest.
So all of us guys in these colored jackets are trading coffee futures. Each colored jacket represents a trading company. There's hundreds of people on the trading floor, and they trade over $1 trillion worth of contracts every day. And in the coffee pit, believe it or not, we're responsible for trading 85% of the world's coffee. We've been doing it this way for over 100 years, yelling and using slips of paper, no computers, face-to-face in the pit. Now let's get to the real story.
And I don't think there's a lot of ways to transcend classes in our country anymore. I think Wall Street and these open outcry markets are one of the last ones.
My name is Joe DeGuizo. I'm a floor broker, and I trade coffee. You know my friend Tony, right? You know Tony? This is signed by all of them. This is signed by Al Pacino. What's her name? Sharon Stone. Uma Thurman and John Travolta. When I was 17 years old, me and my friends, we went to Puerto Rico. And we ordered like all kinds of hamburgers and drinks up to the room. And actually nobody had money at the time. And one of my friends signed the bill, Joe Hollywood. And that's where the name Hollywood comes in. See the headrest? That's nice, right? That's nice.
That's it. That's it. The decision made. The lower made 20. The lower made 20.
In my younger years, I was very aggressive. I looked upon myself as a leader in the marketplace, like pushing the market up or knocking the market down. And for the most part, you know, most of the guys followed me or, you know, they lost money. Guys that make it down there, believe it or not, never went to college. They have to have street smarts. They have to react. Like you got guys following charts and everything. They're not risk takers. I don't even see how they make money. All they're doing is reading what it says on the sheet and going 50 bid. By time you figure out what this is worth, I've already sold it or bought it and made my money or lost my money. And by the time you figure it out, it's not there no more.
I am one of the largest coffee options locals. And I've been trading coffee now for it's almost 10 years now. Went to college at Harvard, economics. Harvard's more about who you know when you graduate than what you learned there. Maybe not the ideal way to get an education, but it worked for me. You know, I was a football player in college, or at least for the first year. Then I was a drunk. So I'm engaged. My fiance is Polish. She's a fit model. It's July 21st in Krakow. So it should be nice, yeah. I get to work in the morning, and I'm the guy that goes up to the bull, who's long and is always long, and explains to him why the market's going down. I will go to the guy that's bearish and explain to him why the market's going up. I don't do it because I'm trying to make them doubt themselves. I do it to gain information. People on the floor, they're not brilliant. You know, I'm not brilliant, but I interact with people. I tell them what I know, they tell me what they know. We have open relationships, we're friends. We are all there to make money from the order flow that comes over the phones. So we're competing with each other for every penny that comes into the ring. And we have to remember that on the floor, it's a zero-sum game. One of us is gonna make money, the other one is gonna lose money. It's just the way it works.
You're the king of the world. You control the power to affect the price of a commodity, coffee, sugar, cocoa, whatever it may be, throughout the whole world. If I've got the money in my account or I just have that power in the ring that I can bid that market up 50 points or 100 points and move the price of coffee 1 penny per pound, everybody in the world is paying 1 penny more because I just decided I wanted the market to go up. So there's a power trip there. There's an ego there. I mean, the opportunities are there to make untold amounts of money. And if you're just conservative and smart about it, you can make a very good living without being greedy.
I'm gonna guess that the average guy on the floor made anywhere from 200 to 800,000 a year. And the biggest guys on the floor probably made maybe 5 million trading coffee in a busy year.
Someone I used to know made 6 million in a week. And it was a good week.
I'm a 50% owner of a company called Mercury Futures. We started it 6 years ago, my partner and I, and we went from being the smallest company on the exchange to one of the biggest. Always professional. Always professional when I'm here. I grew up in a small 2-bedroom apartment in Staten Island with no backyard. I never had a barbecue growing up. I never had a swimming pool. And that's why when I came out here, I want to give them a life that I didn't have materialistically. Early on in my career, when I became a member, I was doing quite well initially, and I got a little out of control, trading too big, and it became a disaster, and I lost all my money. At one point, we had nothing. Like, we went into Burger King, and they didn't have the 99-cent Big Mac, so I had to leave.
We couldn't go. Couldn't go. It's okay. Not having that today.
And, you know,
open a can of peas.
Broccoli, peas. Coinstar at the A&P, throw your change in.
Yeah. Just put a change and get the
that
ticket.
kind of stuff. So we really had no money. So my wife and I went to Arizona just to try to do something with a friend that I had out there.
It had nothing to do with the business.
Right, and I realized being broke really does suck. And I can't make it doing anything else. So after 6 months, we decided we'll come back, and I went right back into the ring. If you can remember those days when you want to act a little crazy down there, that's what brings you back to earth and grounds you again. Because you never want to go back.
I am an option trader. I've been doing it for 2.5 months. Went to University of Connecticut, graduated with a finance degree, and wanted to come down to New York and try to make money. That was the only thing I wanted to do. I am being backed by 2 guys. They're hoping that I make them money and I make myself money. If I lose more than the $50,000 I put in, then I'm responsible for it, and the contract will be broken. The life of a trader in the beginning is very difficult. I have to be prepared not to make money for a while. If I succeed, I know it should be a very good life, but I mean, there's really no way of knowing in the beginning if I'm going to do well or not. I would definitely like to make like $500,000 to $1 million a year if I'm going to succeed in this. I'd like to be comfortable enough that I can basically do what I want without having any money problems at all. I'd definitely like a boat. I mean, eventually, hopefully, I'll get like maybe a beach house or something like that. In New York City, you definitely have to have money to date some of the finer women, I believe. I love being down there. It's such an unconventional place to work. If this doesn't happen, I would really despise going back to working like a 9-to-5 job.
That's it, fellas.
I'm a broker's clerk, punching in all their trades and making sure everything clears in the right houses, the right accounts and everything. The clerks basically get 100 a guy if they do locals and stuff. So if you have 5 guys, it's 500 a week.
I'd rather have the brain of a parakeet in my head than have this guy's brain. Right.
You see what we trade here? This is coffee options. Look what he's doing on here. He's trading stocks when he should be trading this. That goes to show you who has a peanut as a brain.
A peanut has a brain. Let me tell you.
There you go.
Let me tell you, I give you on LSD, I have more common sense than you.
Yeah. Keep trading that crap.
Cujo has a better thought process than you.
What the hell is Cujo?
What's the Cujo? Read a fucking book sometime.
Oh, that movie Cujo with a dog?
Yeah, the dog, yeah, right. I'd rather have Cujo's brain in my head than you.
I'm still learning. It's a learning experience, you know? I'm not the smartest guy there is. There's a lot of guys that are very into the technical support and everything that are a lot smarter than me. I give them credit. They go home every day, go on a computer, they look at charts, they see what was trading last year. I personally, I don't even have a computer. All right, fine, I don't know much about the market, but at least I'm there. I learn as much as I can while I'm there. I broke my ass to get where I came from the streets. I had nothing. My mother and father got divorced. I had my own apartment at 16 years old. I'm not just telling you this. I had nothing, zero. I did everything on my own. I had a pretty rough life.
Come on, I'm here. I'm here to trade, not trade. Trade coffee, cocoa, sugar. I'm here, kill me. That's it, fellas.
Hopefully I'll do well in life, and I really want my kids to look back and say, hey, look, that was my father. He really struggled in life to get where we are, so us kids today could live a better life.
This is my new hobby. It's my skateboard. Damn, it's my longboard, actually. I don't know how to do tricks on it yet, but I think you're supposed to. Anyways, ladies, get in with us from the ground up. House in the Hamptons, 2 years. I have to admit, there's something about being young and rich before your time that's super appealing. Love it. The day that I got my badge was a proud moment for me because I knew that I would never be anybody's clerk.
Hey, Chris, earlier sold 2 at 310.
I started trading about 4 or 5 months ago. Things have been going well. When I first started, I lost $1,000. I had a hard time sleeping at night, and now it's whatever, it's not that big a deal. When I'm 45, if I'm on a beach in the Caribbean, that could be good. I like to think that every week I get better. It's a step in my life right now, and if it works out, I'm definitely going to keep going with it. For me, this is it. I think it's a young man's game.
It's a 3-hour job, 3.5-hour job, and let me tell you, you better have all your wits about you, and you better get sleep the night before, because it is strenuous, very, very strenuous.
Most traders I know have had foot, leg, or back problems at some time.
Die, 10 to 10! July!
The big strain is your voice. If you have to yell as loud as you can to someone on the other side of the ring, the strain on your voice can be amazing at times.
You get polyps, but actually grow on your vocal cords.
You don't sleep, gives you ulcers, upsets your stomach. It's unbelievable what the stress could do to you. I think what most people don't realize is how mentally stressful it becomes. You change your mind 1,000 times during the course of a day, going long, going short. What do I think here? Does this affect it? And that's what wears you out, I believe.
Even before July! Even before
There was an old man, I don't even remember his name to tell you, but he was screaming. All of a sudden, it's really not a funny story. The guy actually grabbed his chest and fell to the floor. Now it's nothing. I've been there for 8 years. I've seen 3 or 4 guys drop.
I don't think people could handle doing it for 8 hours straight or 7 hours straight.
Oh, yeah.
It's just too much.
We work with savages. So we have Purell. This stuff is the best. And I got the 2 biggest spitters behind me. And my day starts usually with me getting a glob somehow under my glasses, right on the corner of my eye. And it really sucks because I have germ issues. We work with dirtbags. I don't know what they eat and what comes out of their bodies. When you got 150 people standing in a circle and one of them's got the raunchiest dead ass leaking out of them, oh my God. If you're standing there and you see a bunch of guys go like this, somebody just ripped one and you go, thank God it's on that side of the ring. And when it happens on your side of the ring, there's nothing you can do about it.
To do this business, traders use a century-old system called open outcry. The louder you are, the more recognizable you are, and the more skillful you are. It's so loud in there that we use hand signals. A hand signal in an outward motion means sell. A hand signal in an inward motion means buy.
Alex stands here, these are his hands, and he gives hand signals like it's 10 bid at 20, 20 bid at 30, and this is 80. Nice. They'll give him orders, and he'll give it to the big guy that executes them.
When a seller finds a buyer, they will yell, buy him.
I get a lot of recognition on my sheer size. It's easy for someone on the other side of the ring to see me.
I'm about 1 foot too short, 5'4", not very tall. Certainly not extremely loud. Not as loud as they can be, anyway. So I've overcome this. I have my lime green jacket with the cheetah spots. So I'm a trading animal. I think the floor is a unique place where you see total integrity. If I say I buy it from you, I bought it, boom, done. It's finished. Transaction is over. And I don't need a contract, and I don't need a lawyer to sign a document. And that kind of honesty is hard to find outside of a trading floor.
It's kind of like an antique way of doing business, but the customers actually prefer it that way. The whole notion of price discovery, I think, is best served by these markets. Still, even with all the computers. So consequently, we stay this way. We stay the open outcry system. It's just New York and Chicago left in the world now.
NYBOT's face-to-face coffee exchange has been around since 1882, but the internet and growing use of electronic trading threatens to make it obsolete.
Well, I've covered trading in one way or another since the mid-90s, and since then at least there's been talk of floor trading going electronic. In fact, the talk has been going on so long that it almost became a joke for traders, that it was always the thing that was going to happen next year, but it never did. The doomsday that was coming but never arrived. What's different now is that there's actually a shift where more of the trading these days takes place on computers.
The market ultimately will dictate, if they want humans down there trading for them, the humans will be there.
You know, they've been saying that we're going to be electronic for 20 years now. It's probably nearer than farther away, but we're not there yet.
I went to Wharton, I went to Penn. In 1990, I got a job with an options market making firm in New York. I ended up in coffee futures, which I never thought I'd be in, and I ended up staying there. Most of my classmates that I went to school with at Wharton work at like jobs for big investment banks. You know, they have decent salaries and really big bonuses if they do well. But they're in their offices at 7 a.m. and they're there till usually 7 or 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And they're there on weekends too. So although they have decent livings, this is like being a rock star. You walk into work at 9 a.m. and you can conceivably be done at 12:30 or 1. And if it's a busy year, you can make just as much money. Where else can you work 3-4 hours a day, 5 days a week, have your afternoons free to spend with your kids or your family, or have another job or pursue a hobby or anything else? I don't know too many things like that. Even baseball players have longer hours than we do. The market doesn't care if you are the son of a Goldman Sachs partner. The market doesn't care if you are a high school dropout from Staten Island. They just want to trade with you and try to make money off of you. If you're successful in your job in other areas, say if you're a really good accountant or a really good doctor, you've gotten there because you've worked really hard and are smart and have spent the hours and attained a certain amount of success. In trading, you can be a total alcoholic asshole, beat your wife and kids, kill somebody, come to work the next day, and get rewarded by making 15 grand if you make the right decisions. When I started in that pit, I was like this golden retriever puppy walking into a pit full of attack dogs, and I got attacked. I was smart and aggressive, but these guys were just street fighters. One day, this trader, he basically just came at me and attacked me, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you." And I just snapped, and I said, "You know what, motherfucker, you want to take me on? Come on." I ripped off my jacket. I went up to his face. I grabbed him by the shirt. I said, "You want to beat the shit out of me? Come on, let's go right now. I'm tired of this shit. You know, fuck you. Come on, in front of everybody. Let's go." And the pit went wild. Everyone was screaming, "Yeah, boy, yeah." And from that moment on, I had respect, which is pathetic. It shouldn't have to be like that, but it's the American macho male thing. If I can't, fuck it. That I want to kill it.
In the beginning, I got quite frightened by the aggression level. I was concerned that at first that they weren't going to trade with me in coffee because I was the only female in there. The thing that strikes you is you walk onto the floor and you say, look at these guys, look all around you. And all these guys are making a living doing this. You think they're that much smarter than you are? And the answer is probably not. And I can do it too. I mean, it really is unreasonable that women haven't tried this before. It's a very, very level field for women. There is no glass ceiling. You can go as far as you really want to go. They'll be happy to trade with you any day of the week. Actually, they'll take joy trying to think that they got you. Of course, you're supposed to be smarter than they are and not let them get you.
Go away. You got the whole ring to go in now. Come on.